Good morning, everyone. How's everybody today? Hopefully, you guys are doing good. Sound should be good. I see it. Got like a 6-second lag today. It's normally like 3. I don't know what's going on. Must be because of the wife. Now that the wife works from home, it's like, where's my bandwidth? It's funny though. I still hardwire in, even though I'm 2 floors away. I have like one of those like 100-foot or 200-foot Cat5 cables. It goes from the router in the basement all the way through the stairs, all the way upstairs. I'm still hardwired in, even though she's the one, working from home. I was like, you can use Wi-Fi. I'm hardwired in. It's amazing. It's so much faster hardwired in. The technology is just not there for the wireless. All right. So far this morning, hasn't been a crazy mover. Dollar's kind of retracing a little bit back. Dollar CAD, you can see, is up pretty big. Euro dollar down. Aussie dollar also down now, which is kind of collapsing back from the news last night. Nice little parabolic retracement. I actually wanted to cover that earlier today. Todd's like, yeah, we don't have time. Let's talk about the Dow. I was like, but the Dow's not moving. I was like, Aussie had a good setup. It's going to come down. He's like, no, let's talk about the Dow. It's its birthday. I was like, all right, whatever. Is what it is. We already started to see some oil movement as well in the overnight. The API number obviously came in half as expected. I think it came at like minus 600 versus a mil, is what the forecast was. So slightly down. But again, markets are reacting to it, and that's it. We really have nothing else. I mean, even on kind of this lower, even kind of going to the low. I hate to say low quality, but low impact news releases. There's not really much. I mean, Quarles is speaking at 3, kind of ended today. I don't know that there's much they can say here. And then Aussie private expenditure quarter over quarter, supposed to be less. We'll see if that really has much movement in the markets. I don't think that it'll do too much. Hardwire is good. Yeah. And guys, it's funny. I literally have one of those like 200-foot cables. It starts in the boys' room. Their new room comes out their door, and literally up the stairs, around like a center column, up another flight of stairs, and then I have it going along the edge into the. So I'm literally right above the router, but like, 2 floors up, going up 2 flights of stairs. The house was old enough that they didn't actually wire Cat5s into the walls. So kind of like, do I try to call them and get it put upstairs so I don't have to do that? I was like, I don't know. So right now, that's my solution. I was like, we could just move. I'm like, no, we're not moving. I love my view. So no other real big news. Tomorrow morning, obviously, we do have some news. Let me take it off the low impact news. There's nothing until 8:30. And again, preliminary GDP, I think, will be something to talk about a lot. And on unemployment claims, I don't know, they've been kind of mixed all over the place, although more to the negative side. So we'll see how that bounces off. BOJ heading in the right direction with stealth tapering. I said a lot of people would do this. They wouldn't tell us that they were tapering, but they were tapering, right? I think there are many more countries out there, quote, stealth tapering, because they don't want the volatility inside of their markets. But I don't have any insider information, but I'm telling you, it's happening everywhere. Well, that's interesting. Corn imports and gain got out of it today. Really, that's it. I mean, besides the monetary policy last night from New Zealand, not really much. This was an interesting article as well, too. These currencies are rising along with commodities. We know that the inflation in commodities like copper, copper has rallied 90%. So oil versus 95, copper. I mean, lot of stuff. You expect to see some, but maybe not quite to the same level we've seen. But again, if you guys are interested in finding other currencies out there that kind of mirror the commodities market, because again, I see that to continue going forward. There's a little article here on the street about it that you guys can check out. So that's what we got. So let's dive right over into charts. So here's Aussie dollar. And again, this one actually started to turn at midnight right here. Actually, this basing level right here is kind of where the European Open was. Again, there was our news release last night, shot it straight up. And again, it wasn't even an Australian news. It was a New Zealand news release. But so much of what they say can, again, it's the catalyst time that it happened. But again, nice parabolic retracement move. It was a decent runner up top, talking about 40 up, 40 down, and actually a little bit lower than that. And I imagine that it'll run into some buyers coming in down here at this level. It's been tested twice at this point. But nice little level here. And again, it was the tested piece from here. And again, this was the European, UK session open, so we know it was a legitimate kind of basing level. Decent runner. Not much we can say about it now. It's pretty much in. But, the fact that we were able to kind of stop that parabolic retracement, I think it's something that we should focus on. Again, kind of continuing out on both sides. I think the 76, 90, 76, what is it, 98? Right around that 70. It's actually a little bit lower than 77. It's 97. I think either of these two levels are still, on the cards. Obviously, having it touch again, it spent some time there. It is not the freshest, but again, it halted a news response on a 30. So it's a level that you need to watch out for. And then up top, we still have these two. And again, you guys can see that, again, that's in the pink area. So any of these three is actually good targets for any type of a rollover. Just happened to be that 77.91, the first one is the one that grabbed. And again, that was the last time we saw major movement to the downside. All right. And again, news release, there's not many of them, but when you get them, they are nice. But right now we're in the middle of the curve, but I think 77.91, 76.97 on the bottom, top and bottom are good for you. Same thing here. So we talked about this again. We had our 1, 2, 3, and then actually 4 is the one that ended up hitting. You could have used the aggressive one. Didn't expect it to hold, and it didn't. It went higher. It actually didn't make it up to where we were looking for sells. We were actually looking for something probably to step in at 84, 85-ish area. 85 was the real strong one we had up top. Didn't make it. You could have taken a smaller parabolic retracement move off of it here, and you actually had two different ways to get short this one. One here at about 2 o'clock in the morning, about 2:30, 3 o'clock. That was the European Central, or the European session. I'll move this across. There's a European session open, and again, you had another one here at about 5:30. But it's at this point, it's done. It's already moved too much. This was also a decent runner off news, and again, about 40, 45 up, and it's moved already about 30 to the downside since that time. So a lot of movement, but again, not surprised that this one failed. It had hit 3. This was number 4 actually that blew through the small level. It didn't even hold any. There was no resistance whatsoever coming back up again on that. And again, it was kind of you could have arguably said there's a parabolic move down and then a parabolic move up, but this is more the kind of parabolic move we're looking for, something very, very large candle with versus the slight grind and then kind of a immediate turn. So same idea. It's coming down. I would say watch buyers stepping in down here at the 84.30-ish level. I would expect it probably to come down, maybe chisel down a little bit more, but then kind of level out here as the Australian news is gone and the yen news has already been kind of swallowed up. Maybe later today we get something from Carl's, but at being at 3 o'clock, it's kind of late in the day, so I don't really see too much more on there. Looking for strong buyers, down below. I would say that this is probably still where we're sitting curve-wise. And you can see there's a lot of kind of congestion. Here, I'll just grab this one now because we don't need it. A lot of congestion in this level, so again, that would be more of a profit target. But below that, do we take a long from there? I mean, I know it's in the green area. It's where we're looking for buys. Obviously, there was an imbalance in price that sent it higher. But really, if we're talking about kind of where buyers are at, I mean, there's quite a big level right here, right? A lot of chunking back, but is it fresh? No. I mean, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. There's another small one even right below it, right? There's even another smaller one right here. So it's got to chunk through a few different levels. I think it's going to take at least another day or 2 to get down there. We really need some rock solid Australian news to find a good one, right? Could it take a bounce off some of these levels? Sure. I mean, and the way to look at those would be, really coming back over here saying, all right, I just care about Australian news. Give it to me, everything we got for the week. And you can say, okay, nothing. Nothing. Australian news is all next week. And again, that's our cash rate. There's a lot more going next week. So unfortunately, there's not too much going in the Ruland. Let's do all again. There we go. Pull it back. Let's take there we go. So for me, again, we're in no man's land coming back from repair parabolic retracement. You watch it. There could be a bounce, but, is it the ultimate high quality setup? Nah, not really. Not really at this point. Okay. Going into Euro Pound. Euro Pound didn't actually go. I was looking for this to go a little bit lower. I knew we had the bounce here, and I was like, all right, let me see. I'm kind of nervous about this area, and you can see it kind of, went back and forth, and then went lower, and I was really looking for some type of an entry down. Didn't get it. It just did the same retracement. Here is the, excuse me. God, I had a piece of toast with some peanut butter, and now it's like, man, I'm just burping peanut butter today. There's the European session move. Anything earth-shattering here? Not really. I mean, like I said, it took that small bounce from that prior level, and again, just continued to drop. So it sliced through. right? You guys can see the kind of basing effect in here. I'm really kind of still holding the same thing. I'm looking for levels up top here. I'm looking for levels down here. And again, we are in the green area, so we're looking more for longs. Could I make a case? And actually, I'll just move this down. I'm not worried about this level anymore. Could there be a case made about down here for a potential long? And the answer is yeah. You could use that, right? Let me just take this off here. This could be another level. And again, it's an okay base. It wasn't really at a major area, but again, decent push, So I think either of these three, kind of keep them on your radar. As far as longs go, again, this would be the aggressive. This is a bit more conservative, and again, up top. But right now, we're exactly where we started the European session. All it did was drive it down. The profit taking brought it right back up. There's no really big fundamental changes. I don't think there's any news for either of the two, really. Nothing that's major, right? Yeah, not really tons, right? Thursday, confidence. This may help the euro a little bit. Not really. I mean, this is supposed to be a little bit more GDP, maybe, but I don't know. I would say that none of these are major. Like, yeah, watch, that's a secret one, right? That's the sneaky ninja one. No, it's none of those things. So yeah, I mean, I would say right now, again, look for European session open, see where we've pulled back into. Either top or bottom works. 86.70, 86.23, or 86.10 would be levels. Again, most of these, though, I would focus on European session open, if anything else. Now, Euro Yen is also taking a pop. We were waiting for this to come much, much lower. We really wanted to drive down, and it got close, but it ended up going up and grabbing levels up here first. So, wasn't really the cleanest of entries of anything. So I wouldn't say that this was one that you guys should have grabbed. And again, European session open is right here, right? Could you have taken the short here? Sure, could have. But again, we were looking for things much, much lower. I'll pull it off now because it's pulled away. It didn't come as low as we wanted for that long. And again, should it have turned down here? Yeah. Should it have turned here? Probably not. But again, it's a session open, so it kind of resets when the US trader comes online. Not really a whole lot we can do about that one. All right, so we can remove that. We were looking for that. We can keep this one on. It's all right. Let's see how much farther we got. Whoops. It's only 9.28. I don't know that I'd use this level again for shorts. I'm kind of looking at this right now and said, hey, listen, you know what? If we can get a little bit of a rally up and we can get a... Let's see. I'm looking for 3. 1, 2, 3 right there. If we can get from here to here before that open, this could be a potential area to get short, and that's sitting right around 133.54. Right? If we're able to come up. And again, it can chop back and forth. I don't really care about that. This level, I'm not as concerned about. At this point, even if you wanted to maybe, try to grab something later, you kind of shrink it just a little bit. It's an old area of interest, in which case, again, you're looking for this to come back down. And profit taking would be down here. I mean, I've left this yellow because if it just does roll, it is a potential area to take off. But if you were already short a position, then this is a profit target at 132.95. But right now, I mean... And actually, let me see. I'll check it. 133.54. Let's log in. This is your yen. 134.73. It's up here. It's a bit too high. 134.23 is down here. It's a bit low. Oh, wait. 130. Oh, 134. Oh, wait. These are 133s. 133.73. It's all the way up here. Yeah, there's a knockout, but it's way too high. Let me see. I'm not going to know. Like I said, I wouldn't trade it now, but for tomorrow, again, you can always look into. Actually, let me see. There is a weekly on this one. 133.54. Nah, it's a 133.98. So yeah, so you'd have to check this one out. Again, maybe Nadex closes between 5 and 6, reprints the daily contracts. Check out the daily contracts. If there's a call spread up in this area, you could potentially set this one up for some type of overnight trade. Maybe set it for like a $15 worth of risk to see if we come up and take that for a roll to the downside if you don't want to be there for it. Again, is there a higher risk that it continues to go higher and you get stopped out? Sure. If you're not there, it's a set and forget. You're going to have to, be willing to take that loss versus, saying, okay, listen, it's the open. Is it here now? Yes. Okay, take it. No. Okay, don't take it. Type scenario in that one. But 33.54. I like the short right now more than I like any of the longs on this one because again, we are in the pink area. With the way we've really been basing back and forth, if we were going to stick a kind of a lesser level, I really got to pull top to bottom. That's kind of what you're thinking is. Again, we're in no man's land. This is just approaching the green area. So 33.54 is the best in that. Euro dollar. Again, euro dollar tracing back. We're looking for shorts here. We're looking for a break of 122.05. It's coming, right? European move started really here, kind of a little bit of a pullback. Was it a great entry? Nah, you probably would have missed this one. Not much we could have done on it, but again, you're seeing the highs come lower. So we were looking for shorts. We were just hoping it would come down, and this movement was down here. It just started a little bit higher, but I think it holds firm still. Again, keep yourself locked into this one, 122.05 down to 121.79. Not really anything we can do until it breaks, right? If this, then that. So that's what we got going for euro dollar. Pound yen. Yeah. Talked about this yesterday, about how we're still stuck. Where are we at now? 4 pips in 24 hours, and it's been like that for the last couple days. You can see we've just been stuck. 19th, 18th, back here on the 12th, right? For 2 weeks, we've been kind of stuck in that same kind of channeling back and forth with a couple areas of buyers. And again, front run. So it's an area buyers have stepped in. The knockout bracket down south is 153.21. Not really an area that we can do too much with, right? Oops, hold on. Ooh, hold on one sec. There we go. Yeah, just, I'll stretch it, make it look really, really impressive. But look at all the wicks. So many wicks and so many small body candles. Again, just lack of no news. And I think next week's a better week for this one. But again, the pound just doesn't have much. There's actually more European news than pound news this week. And again, the yen is not necessarily the strongest currency right now to trade off of because of what they're having with COVID. Here's the pound. So pound yen, we were talking about this one going higher. It did. I missed the target by just a little tiny bit on it. I was like, oh, it's so close. And it pulled back and went, and we missed it by like 5 or 6 pips. But it was well over 1 to 3 at that point. European session started, and we were down here. If we had been here, then yes, it was a long. We were looking for it. As it was coming back down again, it just didn't get as close as we needed it to be, unfortunately. We missed it by about 6 pips. It happens, and there's not much we can do about it. And has it really changed its trajectory? No, it went up, and it would have done its 1 to 3. It literally rolled over at that 6 o'clock time frame and pulled right back down to that level, and we're taking a little bit of a bounce off of it now. We're a little early for a 10 o'clock reversal. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen, but it is a little tiny bit early. Again, remember, there was a better level just a little bit south. So if this comes down, maybe that's where we roll at the 141.12. Again, you can see that that's where it was stabilized, and again, that's where the test was. This was kind of more of a target than it was anything else. It was a target / if we can get a European session open, and we didn't. We missed it by, again, that's 6. And again, you can see this is the major time frame. This is the minor time frame. We're deeply in the pink. We're just, again, we've had buyers come in and support low on this level, and again, here, and then maybe coming in over here one more time. So, this one is minus 20 pips in the last 24 hours. But, a lot of it is just because we were sitting here. Has it really changed? Has it really changed much? Nah, it's about that 20 pip area right there. We got to be able to break through the bottom before we do much. But, again, a break through the bottom, there are short opportunities when we break through. So, I'll put something down here, right? A break of 140.99 or 141. That gives us the potential drop to the downside, right? So that would be a trigger if we're able to break through, okay? Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD is rocking. And again, this one started a little bit early too. Here's our 3 o'clock time frame right here, right? Whoops. Right there, right? So it already bounced. This is one of those hard ones. Is this a level? Yeah, it was. It already started bouncing. So could you have taken it? Yeah. Is the dollar CAD one that we typically really like to take at the European session open? Not really, right? Because it's not really linked to either two, but a lot of dollar pressure, right, coming out of that European session, and it's been a great mover. This is a pretty decent move. We're talking about 80 pips. It's more than what we've seen. And again, we talk about the level here. We turn it around, but again, 1, 2, 3. This is number 4 break going through, right? And we mentioned that before when we drew this box. It said we had to clear it, but don't expect necessarily the top side to hold. And it did. Impulse, it turned right before the level to grab more orders. And again, Telltale sign it's getting ready to punch higher. Had you played it, you're good. We weren't looking for shorts until up top. So again, one of those opportunities where we just missed it by a little bit. We missed it by 7, but not much we can do. And again, profit targets for that short would be back down at this red level. So, you know, it sucks when that happens, but it does. I mean, there's other opportunities you could have taken. And again, is dollar CAD the number one opportunity at the UK Open? Not really, right? Not really. It's not something we're automatically going, yep, gotta look at dollar CAD, right? So right now, again, caution 1, 2. This will be hit number 3 to the downside. This is an area of interest, so I would say, actually, let's see if we can make it a little bit. Let's take it in here. And that actually covers that candle. So yeah, there we go. We can remove this. It's only about 16. Trying to see if we could get a nice little short out of that one, but I'm afraid we're not going to be able to get much. Just because, again, look at these wicks. There, and air. Right? There, and we move higher. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I would have liked to taken that short, but with this level, it's just not going to give us enough room to run. It puts up a big, kind of a big potential issue. And again, you see all this CAD news here. Oh, it's coming. It's from next week. Yeah, it's on Monday. It's Monday and Tuesday. CAD GDP number is going to be an important number next week. So yeah, I would expect this to retrace back down again. Get a little dollar strength. But again, if we can get back up to that 112.31, I'd like that much better for an entry. Right, much better. And again, has anything really happened in the dollar that would have caused all this movement? Not really. Again, it's just kind of a rolling over of being weak for a few days. Oh, wait, what? MGM agrees to take over Amazon? His snap. Oh. Oh, is to be snapped up by Amazon. Okay. I was like, wait a second, MGM's buying Amazon? How the heck does that work? So that's interesting. MGM, is now, being taken over. Huh. Look at Amazon. Amazon's like, we just went through a pandemic. I got 8.4 billion. No problem. No problem. All cash. Yeah. So look at that. Amazon is extending its reach because they want to battle things like Netflix and Disney. Yeah. It's like the Taco Bell war. Yeah, so that's interesting. Not like a major market mover, but more interesting news. But anyway, yeah, so look for dollar CAD to roll. Dollar Swiss, again, kind of the same move, right? We had an area down here. And again, from last week, we talked about it. It broke through in kind of weird hours. So again, not really the ideal opportunity to get this one long. So we can actually, let's pull this back up. Let's kind of extend this and get a new smaller intraday kind of window here. I'm actually going to shrink the bigger one. Yeah, I'm going to shrink the bigger one. Yeah, I'm going to shrink the bigger one. I'm going to get a little bit more in touch here. We're going to put it right at that level. All right, and now I can go to the lower time frame. Okay, let's go and find some better ones here. So we have a pop there. I don't really like the bottom. That bottom's better. Yeah, I like that one better. Let's do these. Okay. All right, there we go. going to be much farther south, but we'll leave that one over there just so we can. All right, so what I would say is, look at this. Old zone, went through, pulled back, touch, became the top, became the top again. So let's actually move this forward. I'm going to move it up just a bit into this range, and we're going to use that for a possible short. It's clean, untested. Let's drop this over here. That's fine. There's actually another one sitting right above it too. All right. Oh, crap. Whoops. Whoopsie. All right. MGM catalog on Amazon. That why James Bond. Yeah. I honestly, it was probably more for. I mean, that's what they. I mean, you saw it there, right? They talked about, talking about, its release date for the new Bond film, No Time to Die, repeatedly delayed, right? So again, it's kind of like, I mean, Amazon's smart, right? Amazon went crazy in the pandemic, right? I mean, I know guys that were Amazon shippers that basically they had multiple jobs. They quit every other job just to deal with Amazon shipping because it was just insane, right? They're like, I've never made this much money before, right? Being a shipper. So they went crazy, but meanwhile, MGMs and these guys, they got crushed, right? So again, will movie theaters come back? Yeah. If you can increase your streaming library, and when this comes back, sure, you can get it cheap. Not that 8.4 billion is cheap by any. I mean, but if you buy it for 8.4 billion, right? What if? God, if you come out with just one, like Avatar quality movie, right? Right? If you could just come out with one, there's $1 billion, right? And again, getting the entire owning the franchise of, having this one right here, right? If you own the James Bond franchise, I don't know what type of royalties can you get off the James Bond franchise. I feel like 8.45 is not that expensive, right? I mean, it helps Amazon, so why not? They just went through like record profits. Good deal for them, Go Jeff. So, but as far as dollar Swiss goes, again, small little level here. It's just profit taking. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's been an old level there. We've seen it here, but again, it pushed it, so I wouldn't take it. I'd say 90 and 89.30 are our two levels, top and bottom for that one. Not much else to say. Dollar yen, again, whippy back and forth. We were looking for this. We had, looking for entries here. This one is continuing to whip. It's between the two levels. Our morning started here, right here, and really hasn't done much. Right? It's let's see. It is from the 3 o'clock candle. 5 pips in the European session. 5 pips. So yeah, this will be a good one tomorrow, though. I do feel that the dollar yen offers good, should offer some good movement as far as the GDP numbers tomorrow. But like I said, I really like to be at the 109.26 and 108.62. We're literally smack dead in the middle. And again, if I take that. I've already drawn the kind of the small level curve on this one. You can see we've already got it there. And we're just, look at this. We went through, up, boom, and then we just stuck, right? Pierced down and came right back up. Pierced down, came right back up. Pierced and came up, pierced and came up, pierced and came up. So we're smack in the middle. So I like those two levels. But 109.64, 109.26, 108.62, and 108.20, I think are all, again, large scale, we're leaning more towards bearish, but on smaller scale, we're going right down the middle. So it's only 8.4. I mean, that's nothing in movies, right? Right? I mean, I don't know. Just, I don't know. Hold on. Let me see. I got a question. Let's see. Yeah, Skyfall. Yeah, it's only 8.4. So worldwide box office. Yeah, Skyfall made 1.1 worldwide. Spectre made 879,000, right, in 2015. Right now, No Time to Die hasn't done anything. They paid $250 million to make it, right? So, I don't know. Like I said, Skyfall, good, but they made a bill, right? And it's nothing, right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for Amazon, it's nothing, right? I mean, figure the next one. Say the next one does just 900 or a bill, right? Just 900, right? I don't know. They got the whole rest of it. I mean, how much more money are they going to make off the other stuff, right? I mean, Amazon getting royalties paid back to them versus having to pay royalties. I mean, I feel like it's a win-win. I mean, who can go wrong, right? Amazon is one of those ones that it's like, how could you be wrong with Amazon? Right? Apple's kind of fallen out of favor, but Amazon, it's like, hey, listen, can we get another pandemic there? I mean, I feel like that one meme of what is it, Pookie from New Jack City, where it's like, can I get some more of the? It's the Pookie knockoff, right? It's Chris Tucker or whatever. It's the knockoff of Pookie, right? All right, so David Chappelle. David Chappelle, that's what it is. It's Dave Chappelle doing the knockoff of Pookie. And he's like, can I get some of that? It's like, it's the same thing. Bezos was gonna be like, hey, can I get another one of those pandemics? Because Amazon, they did amazing, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, let's look at let's do indices first. I mean, here's where we talked about pushing this one out, upside, downside. It's turning. We mentioned that, but again, we're still looking for it to come down. ES futures, like I said, pretty much flat, not a whole lot of movement. And again, the one push we did have from the open is already starting to kind of retrace a bit. And it's kind of hard because with no real news, there's no real headlines, there's no real meetings. Like we don't have a whole lot to talk about. So, it's are we recovered? Are we not recovered? If we are recovered and there's no inflation, then these rates are staying low forever. Like if this is what recovery looks like. And again, just kind of bouncing back and forth. I mean, even dropping it down to like a 15-minute chart, like what are you trading off of? Are you going to do off these little tiny zones here? I mean, your 8:30, your opening candle to what? Here's your 8:45, right? Here's your 9:15. We were kind of pushing through. Are you taking longs off of here at 10? I mean, could it? Sure. I mean, there's buyers there, but what type of crazy movement are we looking for in this one? So I think it's something to be a bit cautious of. And even look at this on a 15-minute level. That's a 15-minute level. That's way too big for a 15-minute level. I would say it does appear that it wants to go lower. There's a few levels in here, and the highest probability thing I have on there is a break below 41.42. I would like it to see go up, but I think we need some big data more so than just lack of no news, right? Lack of no news. That's the argument AT&T made when they bought Time Warner, and I think that for the price it could have worked. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the AT&T and Time Warner thing. I mean, I don't know. Where was the streaming at there? They were buying it for internet, not streaming. And I think, like you look at, there was an interesting article out yesterday about how streaming has saved the music industry. Like you saw that the peak came out and then it basically dropped through the floor. The music industry was just getting slaughtered by the internet. But once these streaming services came out as a way to get back, and you're seeing it's not up to where its peak was, right? It's about half of what its peak was as far as revenue in the music industry. But at least streaming has done the same thing. I felt like that deal was for internet, but eventually all internet's going to basically become almost free, right? I mean, it's getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper with higher and higher and higher speeds, and there's more competitors out there. I just felt like that one, it was just, they were focused on cable, which everybody knew we were going to get away from cable, right? Because cable was limited. So it could have worked if it was a little bit cheaper. But again, I think that was also a little bit mismanaged by the way they handled it, right? So, yeah. But anyway, there's a ES. NQ had a little bit more, but we were close and just turned around, and it's in the same spot. Just not a whole lot of movement. I'm looking for a break of 13,752. I want this one to go higher. I think there's probably some decent movement in that one. If we can break. Right now, it's got to get out of this area, but no news. It's going to be hard. So I mean, right now I'm looking for a break of 13,752. I'm looking for, if we can get a touch of 13,511 or 513. I'm into that one as well. Finding another area to buy, I think it's going to be a little riskier. I mean, again, on a 15-minute chart, you can see all the buyers in here stepping in. There's a little hidden level here on the 15, but really until we get down here, I'm going to have to say I'm going to remain bearish. We're in the pink zone. Still don't have a lot, but I think it will take a little bit to whip through, unless there's a major headline, right? But I mean, you can't plan the major headlines. I mean, I would say, with this here, right? I would say I'd be looking for this to come down, and maybe for news tomorrow, right? So let's see, 8:30 tomorrow, 8:30, right here. 7:35, 8:30, right there. Yeah. So I mean, if we can get price to come down for here tomorrow morning before the GDP number, yeah, I could be swayed to do it, right? I think that could be an interesting setup. And again, there's your 330. If we have a big drop today as well, again, in preparing for the news tomorrow, I mean, where is it? 3 o'clock is right there. There's another a potential entry. So I think either of those two could be longs if we come down that far from now till then. Okay. All right. YM's dropping a little bit. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4 broke. We didn't expect it to hold. Not much in there. This one had a 530 trade. You could have tried to trade the open when it pulled back up, but you probably would not have gotten in it. You had you drawn a little 15-minute level, you probably would have drawn that, right? And missed it. I mean, I guess you could have drawn that, the 715 one, but that's, like I said, when it's so close, you typically grab the top one. So, but right now, again, this is an area we expected to slice through because of the number of touches on it. There's a little level right here. And again, we'll see if we can go through it. We're talking about a little 15-minute level, an untested 15-minute level. It is the 10-10 time frame. I would say that, this one on a 30, when we look at actual levels here, I think this is probably more of a level. One of these two, I think, is probably more of a turning point for tomorrow, or for today. And again, either of these two, although they are in the red area, I think either of those two could provide an area for a bounce with the GDP number if it is positive in the positive for what the market's looking for. Right. But at this point, I don't really love much more. I think the movement has really happened for the day. At this point, you're kind of just messing with some small zones. Right. Oil. So we'll come back to oil, but here's the oil movement so far. You can see that all it's done is really retrace back up inside of what it did. We had European profit taking. So here is the where is it? Right here. But it's kind of the it's what, 3, like right in here. Right here is the API number. It kind of drove it a little bit up, right? It was half of what I expected. And then again, European session kicked off right with the blue boxes. You could have traded this one. It's if you were around, it was a small 30-minute level, not the best zone, but we know the buyers sellers had stepped in there in the past. So it was all right. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, if you're oil has been really, really good. There's been some really nice setups off the session opens for oil lately. But I will say that if you look at this one, I mean, as far as blue boxes go, this is one of the bigger, it's not the biggest, right? But remember, when we have one that's not this little kind of small move, it tends to be a little bit more of a flat day in the U.S. market. So it's not the tinies, it's not the bigs. But again, at this point, the question is, has this profit taking really showed us what direction oil's going in? And remember, the way we play oil is we're looking for stabilization. Right now, again, with the popping back and forth, we don't really necessarily have that stabilization. We're still about 18 minutes shy on this one. Again, if we do come down just a little bit lower into the 65-25-ish range and start to hold and kind of stop and base, that could be a telltale sign that we're going higher. Right. Again, we'll see what it's able to do. We need it's got to stabilize. Right. It's not stabilizing. I was hoping we get down to the 64.58, but we're not quite there yet. So, but we'll see. We'll see if that stabilization comes in. Gold. So here's gold. We talked about it yesterday. And again, I'm on a 5-minute. Let me go back up to a 30. Yesterday morning for Nadex, we were down here. Yesterday afternoon for our presentation, we were sitting right here. We talked about just breaking through this level. And again, look for a pullback. We did. We got the pullback down. It stabilized and got low. And again, came all the way up. I mentioned 1910 would be our target. Missed 1910 just very, very briefly. It went to 1910.13. I had drawn this at 1910.71. It pulled back, but it did blow through. And then again, it's come back down to the 1900 level, which again, psychological. Obviously, an inflation story. Again, people keep thinking the Fed's going to kind of step in. Right now, I would say that this is more set up to probably retrace back down into this level. Obviously, 1900 is important. If it holds the night, I mean, they're going to talk about how important the 1900 level is to hold. And again, here's the Harry Potter, so I'll take it off from yesterday. Like I said, it's funny that I literally almost picked the peak, right? And again, because I knew that it was 1900, that's most likely where it was going to be. I'll move this now. Went up. I'm going to leave this on, but I'm going to change it to, yeah, that one's better. Maybe one more. Yeah, just enough to see it. Just so I have the 1900 level on there. Okay, so we know we have that area right there that's been tested. So we knew we had some buyers stepping in there. So I would say if we could break through this, again, look for it to kind of come lower. Again, we're looking for acknowledgement of inflation. I think the GDP number tomorrow will also help. Not that, you know, mm, not that this really tells us a lot about inflation, but the fact that we're seeing that this forecast has already changed and gone higher. It was 6.4, now it's 6.5. It's interesting that they're adjusting it higher versus just leaving it and missing, right? So I'm again seeing the GDP numbers that high again. Obviously, is going to lead people to believe in some inflation. So it's kind of one of those things. We're looking for this really. I would really like for this to pull back into levels and find some buyers. I think getting long before the news release tomorrow in gold would be a pretty nice thing. So, I don't know. Maybe we can come all the way down, right? Maybe tomorrow 8:30 here, right? Tomorrow morning, if we can be sitting right here at this level, that could be an interesting spot to, again, bounce up for, right? And again, I'm not going to take this short again. We were looking for the break. I wanted to keep that on there, but it's fine. We can remove it now. Yeah, something along those lines, right? And again, you can see if we fall through this level, there's a couple buyers here, but there's not necessarily a whole lot. So we may be able to take this one short in the overnight. And there's 1 to 3. So you can see we got a little hiccup here, but if we come through and we break this level, again, we can, we can get all the way back down and then take longs off of, potentially 1880 tomorrow morning for news, right? Just a potential setup. Like I said, it's too far now to know. And, I'm assuming gold will probably start kind of flatlining in a little bit. If this is the 10 o'clock reversal zone, it'll show you that it's kind of more of a weaker reversal, right? I mean, we like 10 for reversing, but is this a high quality level? Not really, right? Not really. And again, you're seeing the Aussie dollar bounce as well, right? Aussie dollar is bouncing as far as that proxy goes for gold. It's actually spent the last 2 candles in Aussie dollar are high, or not high, but they're both green. They missed the level as well, just barely. So, not surprising. All right, silver. Man, look at that. Silver held for a 4th time. We had our 1, and again, this was a 2, this is a 3. We were looking for silver to break through the top side, right? It didn't. It actually held. So again, we got another black one in here. Look at that. It held again. But I'm cool with that because again, we know that we had the base here, right? And again, this was an old level. We didn't really refine this one. The revision is probably more there, right? And again, I'll move this. That's a European Open. We'll bring this down. So again, we have 1, 2, 3. And now we have, there's your 4 hit, right? So I like it because you could say there's 4, there's 5, which is absolutely correct, which means next time we come through, this one goes to a buy. Because again, is it going to break? Yeah, eventually, right? It is an old level, right? It was a level here, level here, level here, and then boom, 1, 2, 3, 4. And like I said, arguably, we can say that this is a 5th hit on that one. So yeah, so we're looking for a break of 28.27. And then profit target will be up here at 28.64 for silver. Now, I think this is also one that I think we have some decent buying opportunity in tomorrow. I do think that the GDP number will raise both these, unless it's like absolutely horrible. I mean, if they raise it to 6.5 and it comes in at 5, then like somebody's been hitting the bottle too much, right? You don't revise higher when you, and then miss it by that much. But again, we're in the blue no man's land right now, so there's not a whole lot we can deal with it. But I think right now these are my top 2, right? A buy at 27.19, a buy of a break of 28.27, and a sell at 28.64. And again, that could also be our profit target if you're getting long, right? Get long, see how it reacts, and then again, maybe a potential rollover to the downside. So, there's some interesting things here, to be able to play on this one, right? Let's see if oil has stabilized itself. It kind of has. Again, we're still 10 minutes shy, so it still can hold its stabilization, but you can see, we're talking about kind of like small levels, That's what oil's bouncing around there, right? Not as bad. It's all right. Let me see where we're at. Let's see. Knockouts. 65, 25. Yeah, I mean, there's one. So there's a knockout sitting right there. It is very close. Holy crap. Really? Oh, I guess it's more like this. Yeah, so there's a knockout down there, right? A 64.25. It's not at the far end of the zone, which we prefer. It is about 25 cents in the money right now. It's got about $31 worth of risk on Nadex. Let's see if there's what the call spreads look like. Absolutely no dailies. Holy crap, they're like way off. It goes from floors of 66 down to 63.50. So yeah, none of those. There's a 64.50, which is obviously way too far away. There's no 65.50. I would have liked the 65.50 on that one, but yeah, not so much. These are kind of crappy right now. There's a 65.50 with $25 worth of risk in it, and it's probably a little bit much. Let's go across the binaries and see what we have binary wise. Yeah, it's not stabilizing, it's moving. I was hoping we'd stabilize, guys. Let's see, what do we got here? 66. It's a 50-cent move. Man, even the small ones have a lot in them. Yeah, even the small ones have a lot. There's a 65.81. Let me see something here. There is a 65.81. And then a 65.21. I don't like that one as much. You know what? Let me change this around. Let's just do. There we go. Yeah, this is moving way too much. That I wouldn't consider this the stabilizations. That one makes this a little bit hard for a pre-market move. Question is if we can come up to this upper side here. There may be something. There actually may be a short that it's setting up for. We'll see. We got 8 minutes to go. Like I said, it's definitely trying to push towards a level. Like looking at this on a 5-minute, the only stabilization we had was kind of right here. And you can see it's definitely up from that time, but that's 8.55. 8.55 is really hard for a 10.30 relief to be able to say, hey, that one, it's stabilized. It's looking good. This is not slowing down at a level, but it is pushing up higher. So it almost looks like it's setting up for a short. Let me check those call spreads real quick. Crude oil top side at 65.70. No. Jesus, they're all over the place. 65.50. So there is a 65.50 here going down to 64. Jesus, 64 is all the way down here. I don't need to do all that. Actually, I guess I should pick a different color. That one has got about $15 worth of risk, although it's a bit far from the level up top. And now it's pulling back. Come on, just stop moving. See, what we need is this one to stabilize. And it just doesn't want to give it to us today. We just kind of have it here, but it's not in the zone. Come on, oil. Can't you cooperate? Put a vertical line. Is that 9 to 11? Yes, it was a 9 to 11. 66.80. Yeah. 66.80. Oh, yeah. 65. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. It looks like now it's holding, but it's it's not holding. It's not holding at the best of levels. Man, I wish we were higher or low on this one. All right, we're gonna give this a couple minutes. So while we're doing that, make sure you guys get your tickets in. Like I said, we're gonna try to stay on until this actually pops. There we go. 9 tickets in, so make sure you guys put these in. Exclamation point tickets gets you into the game today, and we'll see how that goes. Just make sure you get in. We're gonna follow this one through. So we got about 5 minutes to go through. Yeah, it's not. It's the 1 minute starting to move again. It's kind of holding. Look at this Aussie. Look how close we missed on the Aussie. Had you had something in here? Look at that. Very, very close. But again, it's more for our profit being there. Let me see if they're going to... Crude oil, insurance commissioners. What did he say? Quarles is supposed to talk later. So he's saying absolutely nothing that matters. Yep, that was boring. All right, so we got one here. Actually, let me see. What is daily FX? No, economic news calendar. Yeah, so they're saying -1 as well. -1.05. Yeah. Import changes refinery. All right, so we'll see. We got 3 minutes. Let's see if they pop automatically. And I was really hoping that we'd get a little bit more out of that one. I was hoping this would be a good one today, but it is not. I guess I can move this across because this would have been 65.50 right there. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right. So let's see. Ernest is going like, I'm buying 3. I'm getting in for big money today. He's going in for 3. All right, we got a minute and a half to go here. Come on, team. Come on. We need some music in there, I feel like. It's like the longest, like 3. It's like the longest 2 minutes. It's like, come on, we're set. Right? We're set. Yeah, I mean, it's driven higher in this end, and it keeps running in the sellers. So, I mean, it does look more like it is set up for, I'd say probably it looks like it's more set up for a short, but we've just had so much short action in the overnight already. that I feel like, the way that this is not holding and trying to go higher, I feel like it's grabbing orders, but I wouldn't say that any of these are really like the ideal opportunity. And right now, if you look at the top of the U.S. session, kind of its peak the trough, we're kind of smack in the middle, right? Did it drive into a side where we had a great turnaround? Had we been up here at 65, 70, then yeah. But right now, it's kind of the highs are coming down. We're coming this way, so it's like, oh, yeah, it's pushing back down again now. I don't know, maybe that's our stabilization. It's just so close to the time. It's like it's pulling down. So yeah, maybe this is yeah, see, now it's going to hold right here with this little dinky level. This is a weird one today. It's a weird one. Yeah, we're seeing a pop. All right, let's see. What do we got here? It should be popping. Also, you had a nice finished candle. Come on, it's 10:30. I know you got the number. Come on. Must be delayed daily effects, so it doesn't have it either right now. Come on, give it to me. They're gonna make me wait. There we go. So yeah, so bigger, a much bigger down draw, right? Right. APIs was half what the down draw was. This one is over. So yeah, so that's probably that little kind of pullback into this level. Look at that. That was kind of the pullback right now. Right? That was the stabilization. And again, talk about an ugly stabilization though. And again, Europeans drove us straight down. Yeah. Question is, can we clear the sellers up top? That's going to be the big one. We shall see. 1.7 is nice, right? 1.7 versus a 1 is, it's a decent miss. So again, we'll see if we can hold that or not. Like I said, it's having some issues now, but that little hiccup, that little piece down here, again, this hit in at right at 10 o'clock is where we ran into that bottom zone. Is it ideal today? No, not so much. But I think most of this movement was, this was a big down draw from the European Session Open. I mean, we're talking about, at its peak, about $1.17. Just in this session is about 86 cents. So, that's a nice one. But yeah, that was a rough one to play today. Man, I can't believe that that's where that stabilization was right there. And how it pulled back right in there. Man, that was a tough one. I did not like that one with these tops on there. So, but yeah, it makes sense why it's going up. I would look for a retrace. I wouldn't be surprised if this one kind of rolls and comes back down. We'll see. We'll see how far it can go. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the drawing. See who the winner of today's drawing is. I got Ernest in for 3, Ross in for 3, 2 and 2. All right, let's go. Close that giveaway down. Let's see who takes it today. Remember, it is Wednesday, so it is a 50 pip chip day. Except if Ernest wins because he won Monday, it'll be 100 for him. All right, here we go. Winner of today's drawing is Debbie. How many did Debbie buy? Wow, Debbie, you boys waste your pip chips. I'm going in with 1, and Debbie took it today. Wow, go Debbie. All right, let's see. Leaderboard. I know Debbie's up here too. Debbie's getting pretty close. So Debbie goes in with 50. So Debbie spent 0 pip chips today and was a pure profit day for her. Wow, look at that. Go Debbie. Debbie won with a 6%. I know the Jeopardy theme, right? Wait, hold on. Somebody type it in. Sorry, not sorry is what Debbie's really thinking. How much is that spike? How much have we done so far? 40 cents? I don't know if 40 cents is what I would do, but yeah. I know Ernest is like, you're not sorry. I know you're not. I know you're not. So, but yeah. So, anybody that really likes trading oil news, understand that this is the area that you were trying to snipe today, right? There was the stabilization, 3 bars of basically the same movement, and then it came down and stabilized again there. And then right before news, it came into that same level. So, could you have grabbed something, to the top side? Sure. One of those shorter duration. And again, there was the market telling you what it was, but I didn't like it because it wasn't at the extremes. I prefer just the extremes, but there was your stabilization, and here's your pullback coming. So we'll see if it comes all the way back down. And again, these lines, by the way, if you're wondering what I was doing with the dotted lines were a vertical or a horizontal strategy. right? Because we talked about it earlier today about how there's not a lot of movement and, figuring out, hey, listen, there's nothing going on. The reason I had those out there for oil is that would have been what your $50 risk, $50 reward would have looked like. And again, at this point, with it pulling back into the zone, you can pretty much capture almost full at this point. Let me see, where is it? What was it? It was the 65.21s. As it comes back down. Yeah, so this one was peaked. You could have banked almost all of it, but we'll see. That's where it expires. So if it expires in there, you get full profit on there. But I was just trying to set up an example so I could show the next group tomorrow. So, all right. So with that said, guys, I'm out of here. It's 10:34. I need to go grab the girl. I hope everybody has a good trading day. Remember, tomorrow morning's news release is probably the best one of the week, the GDP number, and they're already revising it higher, so that could give us, some decent movement. Aussie is also retracing back up again, so keep an eye on that one as the dollar gets a little bit weaker. It's currently, the dollar is up right now 0.09, but I think it's going to continue to, I think it'll get weak the rest of today. And again, there is some speeches later on this afternoon. The VIX is also dropping. So again, that is when the VIX drops, it tends to be a little bit better for the overall indices. So, look for them to kind of make an attempt to kind of push higher. All right, so we'll see how it works out. With that said, I'm out of here. Thank you guys for joining today, and I'll catch you tomorrow morning, 8:45 on YouTube for Nadex.